I'm ready for questions.
Well, I guess just a lot of experience coming back. Does that make it easier or harder, I guess, to figure out where the pieces fit in the lineup and the roster and everything?
I don't know if it's an easier or harder. There's a familiarity, and you're right. We do know what we have. There aren't a lot of question marks. I think probably the biggest thing about this year is just the hunger that our team's coming back with. So, last year we went into the year with a good amount of belief, but I think as the year went on and as we got deeper and at the end, there was a lot of belief, and I think that's where we started this year. So that's probably the biggest difference. But yeah, it's a very mature group. It's a very veteran group. They make it easy. They make it easy to come to practice every day, but they also challenge us to keep them challenged because, it is getting deep into January and it's time to play.
What have you thought of the practice work, especially these last couple weeks as you got back?
I thought it's actually been exactly where we need to be at. I mean, it's not perfect all the time, but that's part of the plan is, you have it fast paced and you're asking them to push their own limits and to find out how they can extend and expand our team. And so sometimes there's failure, and we're celebrating that as well. I mean, we had some yesterday at practice.
How is Kylie coming along a year removed from her last surgery?
Yeah, she's coming along nicely, and I'll tell you what, she works and works and works. In fact, a lot of times, because she's our only PO, all of our other pitchers hit. And so, there's times she's over doing sprints on her own, or she's doing mirror work, or she's just doing something that you have to actually pull her back because, I think she felt like she was so far behind that she thought I've got to do more, but she's really got to pace herself. But I think that she's gained a lot of confidence and she's comfortable on the mound again. So it's really nice to have her back in our arsenal. I feel good about our pitching staff. I feel like we've got a lot of pieces.
Might as well ask you about Alexis then, as you're talking about the pitching. Just what kind of impact do you think she can give you in terms of starts, especially?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Alexis is a competitor, and that's the biggest thing that you need on the mound. And she's got a lot of talent, and she comes from the left side, and that's really helpful. I think, just with any first year, there's going to be lumps, and I think it's helping her grow through those lumps. I know Jordy's helping her a lot, just understanding the jump from, high school and club to college. But the truth is she can't experience that until she experiences that. But the other really good news is she's going to have a chance to experience it at a very high level right out of the gate.
Definitely. I mean, what stands out to you, I guess, about the team goals that you have this year, and do you kind of address that before the season? How do you go about that?
You guys are going to get so sick of me saying that we really have one goal, and it's to win this pitch. And you may think that that's really simple, but in order to play the game at a high level consistently, you have to make it really simple. And the more we can just stay really focused on that moment, not get too far ahead of ourselves. I mean, even at the Fan Fest on Saturday, I invited the fans, because usually I tell our team, the fans can be our hype people, but I even invited them to just stay pitch to pitch with us as we go through this thing. So that's how many pitches can we win? And then whenever our last pitch we throw is, we'll look back and say, okay, that was pretty special. I know you want something more colorful.
That's all right.
I'll try to give you something later in the year.
Why is it important to encourage the fans to join you guys in that pitch-by-pitch endeavor?
Well, here's what I believe as a coach of many, many years, and then as a fan that watches other teams that I'm a fan of. I almost do better when I can get in coach mode, even if I don't know about their sport, because when you're in the present, you don't get too anxious and don't get too far ahead of yourself. And when you're in the present, you're not worried about what happened in the past. You're just focused on what's right in front of me. And the only way you can maximize your talent, whether it's mental talent, physical talent, or emotional talent, is to really drill down with what you're doing right now. And we see it all the time in sport, like when it's pitching in the World Series and they hone it right in on the eyes of a pitcher, if they're locked in that moment or not. So that's what, when we can do that, I don't worry about a lot of the other things, and everything, the results can take care of themselves when we're doing that.
There was over 100 home runs hit last year, and obviously that's a big number. That's last year's number. But what stands out to you about the work that Diane Miller's done with this roster and getting them ready to do that again this year?
What I appreciate about her work the most is she works with every individual hitter, with where they are, and trying to help them be as free in the box and be as successful as they're capable of being. We don't talk about home runs. In fact, if Diane were up at this podium, she'd tell you, I hate the strikeout more than I love the home run. So she's just working with trying to maximize our hitters. But I'll tell you, our hitters are working really hard. I mean, we've already had practice this morning, and we've got some hitters that are coming back for some one-on-one work with her just because they want that individual conversation that happens between the hitter and the hitting coach.
When you look at this pitching staff, what are some of the strengths of this group and the versatility they have?
I think you've got first of all, you've got a lot of competitors that want to get on the mound and do the job for the team. So again, I'll say that first and foremost. You've got a lot of experience in Jordy and Hannah Camazin. They've had a lot of innings on that mound. And really, Kylie before the injury. I mean, she was the ace of the Arizona State team for about a year and a half before she got injured. And then you have, Alexis, who we've already addressed, who's been a fierce competitor and really teams have had to climb on her shoulders for them to be successful, whether it was high school or club ball. And then you've got Emerson Cope, who really fills a nice gap. I would qualify Emerson more as a hitting pitcher than a pitching hitter. But Emerson can come in. She's crafty. She's smart. And if she can get us a couple of little ground balls or a few little easy outs, she'll serve us there too. So obviously the competitive experience in big moments. And then I think the other thing is that they're not selfish about who has the ball. They just want to make sure that we win when they do have the ball.
How do you find to manage that pitching staff? Do you try to develop roles and different scenarios in which you use different pitchers?
Yeah, that's a great question. In the world of how is it going to be different than last year, adding a legitimate starter like Alexis, I don't know that it's going to reduce Jordy's innings. It might change what they look like. Like, Jordy's obviously going to start games and she's going to close games. I would think the other person that's in that situation to close games is Lex. Again, because she's got some pretty electric stuff and she comes from the left side. I see our other pitchers more as openers, kind of starters. I had this conversation with Hannah Camazin yesterday. You come in and do what you do and get us through the lineup one time, it's been a big win. And she's such a big part of our outfield and also our offense. But she adds that part of that dynamic. It's a pretty good day.
With Jordy, what do you envision her role being in the field?
Well, I'll tell you, Jordy's playing an excellent first base. Jordy's doing what she does offensively. I haven't written all the lineups yet, but we've got some versatility, and let's take Jordy's name out of it. And you just look at historically and you put numbers up and you look at the numbers. And as a coach, I'm looking at her numbers from last year. And I'm not saying they're going to be exactly the same, but I'm like, those numbers have to be on the field. We can't be holding those numbers in the dugout. And so you find a spot for those numbers to have an opportunity to produce. So whether that means in a DP role or when she's pitching and hitting or over at first base, we've got three options.
You found a pretty nice spot for her in the leadoff last year, and with Ava behind her too. Just how deadly is that, having both of them come back as experienced as they are?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, as we go here, I don't know if she's going to be in the leadoff or the 2-hole. I'll leave that for opening day. So we might be, I loved her in the leadoff, but she doesn't even know this, and she's sitting over there. The one thing I always felt a little bit guilty about as a coach is when we're the home team, and she has to go out and pitch first inning, and then she has to hustle off, and I don't even have a chance to talk to her, and she has to get ready to hit. So if we put her in the 2-hole, maybe selfishly I could just talk to her about the pitching thing for a minute. Right, Jay?
I wanted to ask you about this opening weekend too. The caliber of opponent you're playing is really high, especially Texas out there too. Just what stands out about the opening weekend and the opportunity to start off with some great opponents.
Yeah, I think if you start with where you hope to finish, you don't get lulled into thinking something's going to be easy. I think it's really galvanized our practices even in the fall, knowing that we have a competitive schedule each and every weekend. Doesn't matter if it's the first weekend on through all of our preseason weekends, and then as we go into Big Ten, I think it's made it a lot easier to stay focused on those days that it's, sometimes they just get long. And I really love that. And I love the fact that the standard has to be the standard. It's not about the opponent. It's what's good enough to win in this moment. What's good enough to win this pitch in this moment, whether I'm on the offense, the defense, or the, whatever side of the ball I'm on. I think that's been really cool, and it's really helped us in practice. And it's really helped our leaders in practice to be able to stop practice and go, that's not going to win it for us. Because they only have one standard of what they're comparing to, and it's the kind of schedule that we're going to play.
Did you notice those seniors being more vocal at all this early in the season?
Yeah, we have 3 captains, but we have 12 seniors, and all of them are leading in their own way. And we've even got some juniors that are starting to speak up more. I mean, it's like, to me, leadership doesn't necessarily have a title or an age group. And we encourage them all to lead in their own way and to grow their voice and use their voice. And I think they've done a really remarkable job with that.
Do you buy into that whole mantra that the best teams are player led?
Oh, 1,000%. Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. 100%.
Anything else?
Rhonda, what's the ceiling for this team? Coming off the success you had last year and being a preseason top 10 team.
Yeah. I've made mistakes in my young career talking about that, and I think that's a dangerous place to be. And it's not that we don't have aspirations of being a really good softball team. We're already a really good softball team. I think I think that just projects too far into the future. But my ceiling for this team is that they max out, that they just really max out.
All good?
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, next we got senior captain Alina Felix. You can just go ahead and open it up for questions whenever you guys are ready.
So what have you just thought of the practice work that you guys have done first in the fall and then getting back to things in January?
I think all fall and January we've had the same goal of our competitors in this preseason especially. And just like Coach Revelle said, holding our standard. I think our practices, yes, we've had some failures, but we've also had great successes. And even in the outfield, we're really working on being quick, and infield is working on their stretches. So I think kind of just maxing out and seeing our limits, and it's really tested us. So I think it's been really beneficial.
How much can these first few tournaments really help you get some momentum, get some confidence heading into the rest of the year?
I think with the competition, these first 2 tournaments, it's a great opportunity for us to see where we're at and where we need to be, because we do have one goal at the end of the season. I think it's really important, though, to stay present in these first games and not think too much ahead at the end, and just stay really present and see where we're at. So I'm excited for that.
For you personally, just what's it mean to be a senior and be part of this group and the opportunity you have this year?
I think I'm very grateful to be a senior, and Nebraska's given me amazing 3 years so far. I'm really just grateful to wear the N, and with this being my last season, I know we talked about really our biggest goal is just staying present and not thinking about, post-grad or whatever we have. So I'm really grateful, and I'm just excited to see where this team goes, because I feel like this is a really special team.
So many seniors on this team. How are you guys able to balance kind of the leadership voices, especially as a captain?
Like Coach Revelle said, I don't think the title captain really makes you the sole leader. I think we all are player-led, and we serve the team, and that's our goal, and that's always been our goal. And with the seniors, I think we all are leaders for the younger players on this team, and the younger players have been speaking up too. So I think the title captain or title senior even doesn't really mean you are the sole leader. I think we all lead ourselves really good, and we all have the goal to lead each other, no matter what our role is.
Last year's team chemistry was pretty awesome. Do you see the same this year?
Yes, 100%. I think our team chemistry has always been really good. Last year, I know a lot of people would tell us they could just see it on the field with the way we celebrate and the way we support each other and cheer each other on. I think this year it's the same, if not better. We read a book called The Carpenter where we focused a lot on love, serve, and care. So yes, we already had those qualities on our team, but I think that really just enhanced it more for us.
How beneficial do you think the experience of last year, making it to the Supers will be, and just in terms of knowing what to expect to get that far again this year?
Yeah, I think last year was great for us in terms of experience. And just the hunger Coach Revelle talked about. I think we all left super hungry and, yes, a little disappointed, but it really just gave us confidence that we could be there and we know we can get there, and we know what it takes to get there. So in this preseason, we've been working hard to hold our standard high because we know that that's what is required for us to get there again.
Anything else?
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Now we'll go with another senior captain, Ava Cusack. Go ahead and start with questions whenever you guys are ready.
Similar one to Alina, just being a senior and having that opportunity with this team, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I don't think I ever, when I went into my freshman year, I don't think I ever really saw myself, truly being here. My path through college, I would not have said, that I envisioned this entire path. So being able to look back at it and going in right now, I'm just excited, very grateful, like Alina said, just grateful to be here and be surrounded by my best friends that I didn't think I would ever play with again, and be surrounded by new best friends that I've created awesome relationships with, and just to play for the state of Nebraska. It's really exciting, and I'm just really excited to play with this team.
How hungry are you to get back to the postseason?
Oh, very, very. I think we're excited to get where we were. We always talk about Jordy and I were talking about how we rewatched the games, and we were just getting in that mindset of being in that position again to play and go play hard and turn that switch and just go. And I think as soon as we're there next weekend, once we start playing and once that switch is flipped, I think we're ready to just hit the ground running.
You had a career year last year, and I wanted to ask you about Coach Miller too. What work did you put in, and how did she help you maybe to achieve that last year? And
Yeah.
on that?
Last year, I think I just tried to take in as much information as I could from her. She was filling me with so much good and just information that I could take to my swing that I just needed to figure out what was helping me and how I could grow off of that. I think she is a very individual. She's not trying to make one person swing the exact same way every single time, and she's going off of what my body likes and how everyone else likes. So she was also teaching my swing to be the best of its ability of where it is and where she could see it going. And I'm just lucky that I get to practice with her every day.
Maybe you raised your batting average nearly 100 points from the previous year to last year. What changed?
I think I really don't know. I think that's a good question. I think the same thing with Coach Miller, honestly, being able just to have that conversation with her and being able just to get hungry and grind it out and shrink my zone, just figure out what I was hunting for and figure out what I wanted to look for and swing at rather than swing at balls all over the place that, I could hit that, but could I hit it hard? Could I put that in play and be a 75-mile-an-hour line drive, or is it a ground ball to shortstop? So I think really shrinking my zone and also just honing in on what the team needs right now and just grind it out for the team really helped me.
Was there a moment or two for you along the way where your confidence really went up and allowed you to settle in offensively?
I think throughout the entire year, I tried to not get very too high or too low. I just really tried to focus on just continuing each and at bat, just trying to focus on this pitch again. And because I think I'm a very competitive and excited player that when I think about it too far ahead, I get too big, get too excited, and then I'm swinging out of my shoes. So Coach Miller talk to me about Blue 13 and just taking a breath and taking everything in and just breathe with it and take this pitch where it is and not try and guess.
How have you seen Sammy Bland grow, and now that she has more confidence playing third after a full season?
Oh, yeah. I don't think that girl has any lack of confidence ever. That girl is just a player, and she's an amazing person and human being. And I think it's been really fun, just us two, especially last year. We had so much chemistry on the left side, and that is just continuing to grow. And she's just an amazing person to be next to because of her energy. She wants to work hard. She wants to be better every single day. And it's just amazing to see her grow and even just become an upperclassman. And I can see her maturity getting louder, getting faster at reading those balls, and she's stealing balls from me now, and she's like, oh shoot. And so I just love seeing her be aggressive and just go after it, which has always been there, but I just love her taking it and just not worrying about it.
What stands out to you about the depth of this team, how competitive it'll be to get on the field every game?
Yeah, I think this year especially, we all just had in mind just to compete each and every day and try and get better every day. And I think that with how many people that we have on this team, it's really not a lot, but we have depth in each position that they could all play there at one point. And when we're pushing each other and competing with each other each and every day, just trying to get better, I think that is the biggest thing for this team is we're pushing each other to play whoever's going to play that spot, and the person that's next can fill that spot no matter what. And I think that's the coolest thing about this team.
And, opening weekend's always exciting, but knowing that you have a couple, World Series caliber teams that you're going to play against, just what do you make of the opportunity to come out and test yourself?
Oh, yeah. I think last year we had those situations to play in, and I think this year putting ourselves in that situation over and over and over again, and even putting ourselves in tight games or even big score games that we could possibly see it go either way. I think that's what we want to put ourselves in to set us up for further down the road when we go to postseason, so that we are comfortable being down by one run or being up by one run and holding that run and winning that game. So I think us competing in those situations and learning how to figure out a way and battle it out and end up coming up with that win, I think is the biggest part of it.
Anything else? Thank you, Ava.
We'll wrap it up with our third captain, Jordy Braun.
I'll start off with the same one as to Ava, just being a senior and, again, being back with this team. What does that mean to you?
This is such a special team, and I know a lot of people kind of got to see into that last year, just the biggest thing being the chemistry and how much we enjoy being around each other, because I believe that one of the biggest things that fuels a competitor is love, and the love that we have for each other makes us want to go the extra mile for each other. And so it's just a blessing to be able to be on a team where we feel that for each other. It's not the case everywhere, and it's not fun when you're on a team that doesn't have that. So just very blessed for the love that we have for each other, and it's going to be a really fun year because of that.
What has it been like for you to work with Alexis and help her so much?
Alexis, like Coach said, is such a competitor, and it is so fun just talking the game with her because she's a competitor like that and the way she views it. So, yeah, a lot of the times we throw bullpens side by side, and it has just been so fun getting to know her, and I am just really excited to take on this season with her.
She came out of high school, pretty touted. You know all about that. I mean, you tell her, hey, you're a freshman, don't worry, it's not a big deal, or not really?
I think just the biggest adjustment going from freshman to college is that the game calls you to be more strategic sometimes, and you kind of have to do more prep before the game as far as film and things like that. But one thing I never want her to lose is the competitor that she has. I want her to know that, yeah, you might be a freshman, you've never played at the college level before, but that same tenacity that you have will serve you in college. Don't lose that. Yeah, we might just prep a little different, but really that's one of the biggest things.
On the hitting side of things, just same as the other players, Diane Miller, just what did you learn from her last year, and how do you keep elevating as a hitter this season?
Coach Miller is incredible because she serves so much for the physical side, like Coach talked about, Ava talked about. Yeah, she doesn't teach one person to swing the same way as everybody else. Everybody's different. So she works very highly with the individual, but also she is so smart on the mind part of hitting. Hitting is very strategic, just like pitching. It's like cat and mouse games sometimes. And so she's just so smart at game planning, looking at how you're getting pitched. And that is just something that she really opened my eyes to as well. And part of the reason that I think our team might not just have like pretty swings, but we can be smart hitters as well. And sometimes that serves even more than how pretty your swing looks.
How much have you enjoyed that two-way role and the opportunity to hit and be an everyday player in the lineup too?
It's fun. It's just being able to compete in a different way. I tell people sometimes pitching is like my baby. Sometimes I obsess over it too much, and then sometimes I get in the box and it just feels so free, like just go compete, very mindless. So I think that's, one of my favorite things about it.
With this being your last go round, do you take time to soak in every day, soak in every practice and game, and also maybe be a little more vocal in the rare instance that your team is not bringing it, or not so much?
I feel like leading up to this last season, having it be the last, the mindset hasn't been that different. It feels like we got another season coming up. And I think that's a blessing because I don't want to be looking so far into the future, like thinking, oh, this is the last, because you're not present then. You're not fully enjoying it. And so Coach and our whole team has talked a lot about being present in this pitch. And I think at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we will be so thankful that we didn't look forward and anticipate, oh, I wonder if I soaked up that last enough. Like, no, we did, because we were fully present in that moment, regardless of whether we were thinking it was the last or not. So, yeah, just being totally present in each pitch. I think we're soaking up the last as well as it can be soaked up.
So with the number of options you guys have in the circle pitching wise, how does that impact you in the way that you're going to approach every day?
It's really not going to change. I think every pitcher on our staff is just approaching each game, each day, like they're going to have the ball at some point. And when everyone does that, everybody's prepared for when they get called on. And I think it's so beneficial for all of us because we have so many girls that the other team is now having to scout for, and we all give a different look. So it only makes all of us stronger.
What has it been like for you to work with Hannah Corrigan, be on the same team as her, and what does she add to this group?
Hannah is a fierce competitor, and that has been one of my favorite things about being around her more on the field. Off the field's a totally different story. We've been really good friends for a long time, but the competitor that she is, competitors feed off of other competitors, and it just elevates everybody when you have that type of personality in the room. So that's, I think, the biggest thing that she brings to our team. She's an incredible athlete, but it's the mindset more than anything.
Coach Revelle mentioned kind of the belief that she's seen grow. I mean, just what have you seen, especially when you got back to work in the fall and then coming back as the season has really gotten closer here?
Just a hungry team. I think that losses, that's how they serve you the best way. And I think just by the vibe when everybody came back in the fall is that everybody took it the greatest way. Everyone's just hungry, and there's just another fire at practice at another level. And that's what I would say about that.
Do you think, what impact do you think the experience will have with very veteran group and having been deep in the postseason last year?
Just having been in that moment, there won't be those jitters of maybe the first time we felt a moment this big. Like we've been in that moment now. We felt success in that moment, and we have felt failure in that moment. And I think, the biggest thing is just we're going to be there again, and it's just going to be us being there again. The first time jitters sometimes get people, and there's just the shock of it. But that's all out the window. Like we've been there now, and we're just, if we're there again, it's that won't be a factor.
Opening weekend as it's coming up here, opportunity with big opponents and obviously starting off the season the right way.
Yeah, we're really excited about our preseason schedule because we all know that to have success at the end, you have to be battle tested. And so, we're just super excited for the preseason schedule that we have, and we don't have a single weekend where we won't be tested. So, starting with this first one, we are excited for the challenge.
Florida, California, it all sounds pretty nice today, doesn't it, Jordan?
Sounds awesome. We are very excited to get wheels up and head down there.
You guys feel like you're ready?
Yeah.
For the season to start?
Yeah, we are ready. Yep, we've talked a lot about that.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.